10 days after the Department of Revenue seized 100 kilograms of gold that had already cleared airport customs, the department has corresponded with the Hong Kong customs seeking details of the gold consignment. The department so far has been clueless regarding the mastermind and the owner of the confiscated gold. If the department is able to break the ice in case of gold smuggling, it can lead to a major breakthrough in terms of exposing the dreaded nexus of gold smuggling. Good evening, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan, and these are the headlines of the hour. The investigations into gold smuggling still clueless regarding mastermind and the owner. Dubai to Hong Kong fast turning as new smuggling route. The term of incumbent Chief Justice expiring in a week's time, the Constitutional Council meeting supposed to recommend new CJ fails to take place. Russian President Vladimir Putin praises African leaders' peace proposal plan, says Russia prepared to supply food and weapons to African nations. England edged past Denmark 1-0, Argentina on a hard-fought 2-2 draw against South Africa, and China defeat Haiti as World Cup action inches towards knockout. In the wake of the recent untoward developments, Kantipur Publications has clarified that it does not intend to lay off employees illegally or violate any laws. Issuing a press release today, the publications has ensured any permanent employee who resigns voluntarily would be provided with provident fund and gratuity as per existing laws. The publications has also expressed regret over the obstruction in the distribution of Kantipur Daily and the Kathmandu Post for the past 1 week, and added that external forces had capitalized for their vested interest. The publications is looking into alternative ways to ensure distribution and has ensured its subscribers would be fairly compensated. Meanwhile, in case of contract-based employee, the publication has taken the press release as an opportunity to remind all concerned that the right to renew the contracts remain between the two parties. The publications has stated it is committed to provide necessary compensation as per laws in case the term of a contract-based employee is not extended. The Department of Revenue investigation has begun weighing the boxes it retrieved from the office of Ready Trade Private Limited in Surakoti that had imported the brick-shoe containing 100 kilograms of gold on 19th of July. The department had raided the office on Wednesday earlier this week and confiscated 66 boxes of brick-shoes. The department also retrieved a machine that melts gold along with the boxes. Based on previous records, Ready Trade Private Limited had been receiving deliveries from China's Donggu Sotu Transportation Company and Siakfan Transportation Company and Taiwan's Talmand Company. Ready Trade had imported goods weighing 1,997 kilograms in the past 2 months alone. When the Department of Revenue investigation confiscated the 100 kilograms gold on 19th of July earlier this month, the company had imported 36 boxes through Cathay Pacific flight on 14th of July. 8 of the boxes which had the gold had cleared the customs and was on its way to its destination when it was confiscated from the capital's Sinamangal. The Revenue Investigation Department has been probing the latest case of gold smuggling that had occurred on the 19th of July when over 100 kilograms of smuggled gold was confiscated. Prior to this, in the year 2016, the gold smuggling from the UAE had revealed the connection of Nepali nationals. Since then, the smugglers continued to search for alternative routes of gold smuggling. Now, a new route for gold smuggling via Hong Kong has made the scenario all the more complicated. In the year 2016, the Central Investigation Bureau of Nepal Police had confiscated 33 kilograms of gold, which was smuggled via Dubai. A CIB team even reached Dubai at the time to proceed with its investigation. The investigation at the time had led to the arrest of 24 individuals. Sudamani Upreti alias Gore was nabbed as the mastermind, while 2 individuals including Sanam Sakya were killed. Now, 7 years later, the gold smuggling route has been changed. About 6 months ago, a December 1 Sudanese national who had arrived from Dubai was arrested from the TIA customs in possession of 19 kilograms of gold. A month later, one Canadian national was arrested with 9 kilograms of gold as he had used the same Dubai route. The CIB also probed the 9 kg gold smuggled through electric cigarettes, as the smuggling also witnessed some Chinese connection. The latest incidents of gold smuggling involving over 100 kilograms of gold has now been connected with Hong Kong. The department has now reached the conclusion that the confiscated gold was not owned by any Nepali investors. It is yet to be seen whether the investigations can reach to the mastermind and the owner of the confiscated gold. So far, it has been established that Nepal was used as a transit point while the gold's market was India. Meanwhile, security analysts maintain that if the investigations into the scam is not able to dig deep into the case, it will raise question marks on the entire security channels of the nation. There is a constitutional provision of the Constitutional Council recommending the name of the new Chief Justice 1 month prior to the expiry of the term of the incumbent Chief Justice. However, with only 8 days remaining for CJ Harikrishna Karke's term to expire, the recommendation process is yet to start. The scenario has indicated towards a caretaker Chief Justice taking the reins of the judiciary. Chairperson of the Constitutional Council, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal, returned from his visit to Italy earlier this morning. Just prior to this, another member of the Council, former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, had toured Cambodia. In the absence of the two leaders, the Constitutional Council meeting was affected as a recommendation for the new Chief Justice could not be met. The scenario is such that when the incumbent Chief Justice Harikrishna Karke retires on 5th of August, the judiciary is likely to be taken over by a caretaker Chief Justice once again. As per the sub-article 3 of Article 284 of the Constitution, a Chief Justice should be recommended a month prior to the expiry of the incumbent Chief Justice. After the ouster of Karke on 5th of August, Senior Justice Biswambar Prasad Shrestha will be entrusted with the caretaker Chief Justice. Even if the Council recommends the name of the new CJ in the next few days, it will follow the lengthy process of parliamentary hearing and appointment which is likely to take a few more weeks. Kosi Province Chief Parsuram Khapung has called on the parties at the Provincial Assembly to stake their claim for the formation of a new government. Khapung has given a deadline till 5 p.m. on 1st of August to stake their claim. This comes after the Supreme Court scrapped the appointment of Nepali Congress Provincial Assembly leader Uddhav Thapa as the Chief Minister yesterday. Khapung has called on candidates who can garner the support of at least two parties and strike a majority at the Provincial Assembly to stake their claim for the post. Former Province Chief Minister Hikmat Kumar Karke from CPNUML had filed a writ petition at the Supreme Court saying the appointment of Uddhav Thapa was unconstitutional. Thapa had garnered majority at floor test after the Provincial Speaker Baburam Gautam's support, which was deemed as against the constitutional norm. The Supreme Court yesterday issued a mandamus to Kosi Province to form a new government by 2nd of August. And in our Public Voice segment today, we have asked people in several provinces, why has the government turned deaf ears to the plight and problems of the public? Let's take a look at what they have to say.
राजनीतिक दलको भाग भण्डार माथि गएर कुर्सी तानातान र आफ्नो पदको लागि मरिहत्ती गरेकै कारण
भ्रष्टाचारीमा लिप्त भएको कारणले जनताहरूको समस्या बुझ्नमा र समस्यालाई समाधान गर्नतिर लागिरहेको छैन।
हामी किसानलाई त हेर्दैन नि, उन त आफ्नै कुर्सीमा लडिरहेछन् त उहाँ आफ्नो स्वार्थको लागि।
एकअर्कालाई दाउ हेरेर सरकारलाई फेल गर्न उसमा मात्रै लागिरहेछन्।
खडेरीको बेलामा अलिअलि रोपेको धान पनि मल हाल्न पाएका छैनन्, उनीहरू आफ्नै कुर्सीको खेलमा चाहिँ लागिरहेको छन्।
सरकार सत्ताकै खेलमा लागिरहेको छ, ग्राउन्ड लेभलमा गएर जनताको समस्या बुझेको नै छैन।
कुर्सी तानतान भएर सबै उति गरिरहेछ, लडिरहेछ।
बाढी पीडितले त्यतिकै भइरहेछन्, आज उनीहरू चाहिँ मजासँग कुर्सी तानातान गरेर खोसाखोस गरेर बसेका छन्।
पार्टीहरूले नै सरकार बनाउनु पर्ने र सरकार अस्थिर भएनले
5 वर्षसम्ममा जनताले बिर्सिसक्छ, अनि त्यो पछि फेरि मलाई नै भोट दिन्छ भन्ने सोचेको होला, तर अब त्यति लाटा छैन जनता।
विभिन्न खालका काण्डको भुमरीमा नेताहरू परेका छन्, त्यो कारणले गर्दा जताततैले पानी सुकै छ, कहीँ पानी नै छैन। अब न केन्द्रको सरकारको ध्यान छ न स्थानीय सरकारको ध्यान।
जुन जनता माझ हुनु आएको समस्याहरू छ त्यसलाई उठाउन सकिरहेको छैन।
स्थायित्व सरकार नभएको कारणले
जो गरिब महिलाहरू छ तिनीहरूको त मतलब स्वास्थ्य उपचारको लागि पनि त हेर्नुभयो सरकारले।
भागभण्डामै व्यस्त हुनुहुन्छ सबजना।
सरकारको उद्देश्य भनेको आफ्नो अब दलीय स्वार्थ र आफ्नो चाहिँ कुर्सी बचाउ अभियानमा मात्र लागिरहेको देखिन्छ।
And now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
And before we give you today's question, let's take a look at a response to yesterday's question. And yesterday we had asked you, why is there lack of yardstick for maintaining greenery at the roadsides of urban areas? 30% of you voted for option A, considered unnecessary. 39% voted for option B, lack of expertise. And 31% voted for option C, no such practices. And here's today's question. And the question is, what should be done for the expansion of cold storage to save agricultural produce? Your options are option A, increase investment, option B, pressure from farmers, and option C, utilize existing resources. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And time for international update. Russian President Vladimir Putin told African leaders that Moscow respected the peace proposal on Ukraine and was carefully studying it. Putin also told the Russia-Africa summit that Russia was increasing food supplies to Africa, including some free grain shipments, which he announced a day earlier, and was interested in developing military cooperation with the continent. African leaders presented the peace initiative last month to both Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, but it has failed to gain traction with either side. Putin initially greeted it by reciting a list of Russian grievances against Ukraine and the West, while Zelensky has rejected the idea of a ceasefire that would leave Russia in control of nearly a fifth of Ukraine and give Russian forces time to regroup. On day 2 of the summit, Putin said Russia was prepared to supply some weapons to Africa for free to enhance security on the continent and to work more closely with African law enforcement and intelligence services. He said it was increasing agricultural exports and would remain a reliable supplier of food.
Sports news.
Papua New Guinea has become the latest team to qualify for the 2024 ICC Men's T20 World Cup, set to be held in the West Indies and the USA. PNG is the 15th side to have qualified for the event and the only team from the East Asia Pacific qualifier. PNG managed to get the job done following the massive 100-run win over the Philippines at Amini Park. After being asked to bat first, PNG posted 229 for 6 thanks to elegant knocks from Tony Ura, skipper Asadwala and Charles Amini. In reply, the Philippines struggled to get the job done. Although they had saved themselves from getting bundled out entirely, they fell short by a big margin. While medium pacer Kabua Moria grabbed a couple of wickets, the likes of Sesebao, John Kariko and Hiri were extremely economical. After 5 games, PNG topped the chart with a clean sheet, whereas a game against Japan is still to go on tomorrow. There are 5 more berths still up for grabs in the 20-team mega event, while one team would make it from the Americas qualifier set to be held in Bermuda, a couple each from Asia and Africa qualifier to be held in Nepal and Namibia respectively will fill up the remaining 4 places. Those were our latest headlines. Up next is News in Nepali. Good night.